It's a real honour to have Ayya Hasappana be here with us today to give this teaching. Ayya Hasappana, it comes all the way from Perth, from Dhammasara Nuns Monastery, and it's the first time that Ayya is here at the Metta Centre. And it's also the first time that we're opening up since March this year because of the COVID restrictions, and being able to be in this space together with a few friends as well, and of course with Ayya here today. And today we will be doing some meditation to start with, and then Ayya will give a talk on some Dhamma reflections on 2020, because what a year it's been. And it's all for us to reflect on what does this year mean for us, especially for our practice and how we can grow in the Dhamma. And then after that, there will be an opportunity for question and answers. You're welcome to, at that point in time, unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have for Ayya. Or if your microphone's not doing so well, you can also enter it in the chat, and I'm happy to feed those questions to Ayya afterwards. So I hope you all enjoyed this session, and I really hope this being the last session for Metta Centre for 2020, that we can take some gems away with us so we can continue our practice into the new year of 2021. So thank you again all for participating, and thank you Ayya for being here, and looking forward to this talk tonight. Thank you.
Yes. I was asked to talk about reflecting because now it's already December, so come to the end of 2020, we look back on year 2020 with the pandemic, COVID-19, and then I spoke to many people. They said that there are lots of fear because of of the uncertainties, because of the change. And some people lost their job, and a lot of fear going on. Especially it's like that some of them they lost their job, and especially it's very fearful because we don't know our future. In fact, no one really knows, isn't it? What's our future? But we think that we're in control. We think that somehow we can control our future. Somehow we're under our control. But basically, we can't really control life. But it's important that how we relate to the situation rather than try to because we cannot control what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. It's important if we develop our mind that we be able to look at things, how we relate things, the way we relate things. Do we relate with kindness, compassion, or with care? And rather than because most people think that things that we're going to experience or things that we experience at this moment is a problem. Actually, it's not what we're going to experience is really a problem. Actually, it's how we experience it, how we relate to the situation is really important. It's really changed our life if we develop that positive way of how we're looking at things. And actually, you can make a change, a shift. I remember when my mother first passed away, and I remember the first 6 months, I still grieve a lot, grieving, and whenever I think of her, I still cry. And after 6 months, I remember one day, it's just like that insight, just that moment, that insight arises, that moment. And I then asked myself, hey, wake a moment. I said, come on, why I look at it that I have lost my mom? Why don't I look at it that, I have her all these years? And because we keep looking at the negative side that I have lost something, I lost my mom, so I lost such a wonderful person. Actually, the moment when I changed that, and that's really a shift. Then that moment I start to reflect on all her good things that she has done, how wonderful person she is, how a beautiful person she is. Actually, that moment I have lots of joy and happiness, and I started to have lots of gratitude. And I really appreciate how I'm really blessed, how lucky am I. I'm so fortunate that I have someone like my mom in my life. And I have her for, she's passed away when I was in my 30s. I have this person, I have this person for more than 30 over years. How lucky that I have this person in my life. Actually, since that day, whenever I think of my mom, I was so happy. I even now when I talk about my moms, I always feel very happy because it reminds me all the good qualities. And when I reflect on the good qualities, actually you grow the good qualities. They say you cannot control what is going to happen to us, but we train our mind how we look at things. You just have the gratitude. Even with the pandemic, with COVID, it's like, oh yes, how fortunate am I? I'm really blessed. At least I don't have COVID. At least I'm not sick. Actually, it makes a great difference. I remember since that day, and when I shared it with my friends, and she said that, I wish that next time if I pass on, my children think of me that they be with happiness. Then it would be really good, that we think of her because the good qualities, the good things that she has done. So that's important. The first thing you wake up in the morning, it's just like, wow, even though if I don't learn a lot, at least I learn a little. If I don't learn a little, at least I'm not sick. So even if I'm sick, at least I'm still alive. At least actually it really makes you, that you feel more appreciative. You really value the every single moment, and your life. That being alive is such a wonderful thing. I remember that when my father passed away, after 3 months, my brother passed away. So I lost. My mother passed away after 5 years. My father passed away, and followed by my brother after 3 months. With all the and that experience, the loss of my father, and then after that my brother. And I was doing a lot of mindfulness on death. And I remember I was in Thailand, and every morning when I wake up, I feel so blessed. I was thinking, wow, I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, and I become so appreciative. Like even every single breath that I feel like is so precious. And it's really helped me in my meditation, actually become really peaceful, really calm. And this is how I started to get into, this is how someone asked me why I want to become a nun. I said, actually, I don't have the idea of being a nun. I don't have the idea of being a nun because of being a nun, because of, I have that because of I experienced that inner peace and inner happiness, because my mind become very still, because you become more content, really appreciate. And when you really, if you see that, because especially both my brothers and my father passed away within 3 months, really hit me really hard, that I really look at it, that that I might die anytime. A lot of people, when they say, when you say someone dying, you will say, oh, when someone have terminal illness, they're dying. But in fact, we all dying, isn't it? And we really don't know how long we're going to live. No one knows, isn't it? But sometimes we spend so much time worrying about our future, worrying about what is going to happen. And it's very draining. It uses up lots of mental energy. I remember when I decided to become a nun. And then, because I was doing a bakery, that's why I was I have my own business, a bakery business. So I have to stop my business, but I just stop it. Then I still have the machine and things like that, but I can't just, so I still have to rent the place, so have to pay rental but no income, the place to keep the machine. And actually my family so worried about me. She said, you haven't solved. And then I was planning to go to Thailand. And then they really so mad at me. My family said that, I never come across someone like you. You haven't solved your problem yet. You still have a whole lot of machinery. You need, you still have to pay rent, and then you have no income. And then you're planning to go to Thailand. Then I told my family, I said, if I worry about it will solve my problem, then I worry about it. Because since I said I can't do anything, I said, by worrying about that, it's not going to solve my problem. I just put it aside. So I make my mind as peaceful as I could. So I went and just have retreat and become peaceful and calm, and then eventually resolve. Sometimes sometimes we think that we have to sort out, isn't it? We have to solve a problem right now. And they said, usually people come to me, they say, oh, I'm not sure, I'm having problem, and I just can't, decide what to do. So usually I told people, I said, if you're confused, you don't know what to do nothing. I said, no point that you try to solve your problem. I said, it's not. I normally tell people it's not going to work, because when you're confused, whatever decision you make, I usually tell people I can guarantee you 100% it's not going to work. I said, you just leave it alone, put it aside, and then I said, find a place that make yourself as peaceful as you can. And then just relax. So when your mind becomes peaceful and you have more clarity, you know what to do. When you're confused, your mind is just like so foggy. It's just like when it is so foggy, you can't see what's in front of you, isn't it? You don't even know which route to go. Maybe there's a cliff in front of you, you can't see. And that's like, then I said, you just make yourself as peaceful as you could. You don't have to make any decision, because sometimes people come to me and ask me how to make decision, because they try to throw the ball to me that I help her to make decision. I normally don't. I said, no, I throw the ball back to them. I said, you have to make your own decision. I can give you some advice, ultimately, because it's easier. If I help them to make decision, anything go wrong, they blame me, So you see, because of Venerable Hāsapañña, she asked me to do this, things doesn't work. That's her fault, Then it's easy to blame others, isn't it? But normally I throw the ball back to them. I said, you have to solve your own problem. I can't solve your problem, but I can be here, for you. I can really care. I know that I can't solve everybody's problem, but I can always care. So I said, make your mind as peaceful as you could. I remember there was a lady, because her son committed suicide, and she was so worried, and she come to me, give me Dhamma books. I want to let I have to give my son to read Dhamma books. And I told her, I said, look, this is not the time to ask your son to read Dhamma books. I said, first of all, you have to make yourself as peaceful as you can. I said, because if you go to see your son and you're so worried, you make him feel so guilty, you make him feel bad. I said, but you can offer your peace. I said, first of all, if you truly want to help him, I said, you make your mind as peaceful as you can. And then you go and, you can care for him, but don't try to dump all the Dhamma book, it cannot, it's not receptive at all. You can't, it's just like, and actually sometimes it makes him even more stressful, and then I know sometimes that people have their children having depression, and they try to bring them to all the places, they try to heal them, and actually they feel actually it's counterproductive, and they think that it's a problem, like I shouldn't be depressed, actually make it worse. And they feel bad if they feel depressed. They think that I shouldn't be depressed because I'm depressed. Depression is a problem. Then I keep telling people, when people come to me, they said that they have depressed. I said, no problem. Having depression is no problem. It's not a problem. But having problem is not a problem. The problem is you think that having a problem is a problem. That's it. So if you think that it's not a problem, it's fine. But because sometimes we tend to solve the problems, but actually it make it counterproductive. I said, if you let it be, whatever happen, and you let it come and go. Even depression come, depression go. If you leave it alone, it will go away by itself. And because, especially with fear, nowadays, because people that they worry about their future, they don't know what's going on, and they can't really see it. But people think that they can control the future, but actually you can't. You really don't know. But of course, if you stay present, this is where our future lies, within this moment. But so it's important that if you're peaceful right now, it's it's the possibility of, become peaceful in the next moment and the next, isn't it? Imagine if you're not happy now, you think you'll be happy next moment, you won't. And also we have to look at the causes that we have to put in. But most people, they repeat the same thing, doing the same thing, and then they expect to have a different results. Now, end of the year, and people like to make all this New Year resolution. Okay, every New Year, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah, you can wish, but whether it's going to happen, you can, it's not going to, according to your wish, isn't it? It's according to the cause and effect. You put in the cause is important, But people speak, that's why I used to tell people, don't worry, if you miss first January, the resolution, there's a Chinese New Year resolution you can do, and then they have a Thai New Year. you can make as many resolutions as you want. I said, but this is, people don't look at it, that why we experience this, and we look into the cause. And rather than thinking that, you can wish, it's just a wishful thinking that may I achieve this, may I achieve that. But if you don't really look at the, that how we react to the situation, is all that we've been conditioned. I remember there was a guy, he said to me that, and Ajahn told me that, we're all conditioned. So we think that we make our choice, we are not making our choice, so we just been conditioned, then we just keep repeating, and then he asked me, he said, how am I going if we everything conditioned? So how am I coming out of this? Because if you repeat what you've been doing, and then you keep go on and on. It's just like the Buddha said, the samsara is just like you threw a bucket into a well, and sometimes you hit the side, so it's go round and ups and down. That's how we go round and round and ups and down. And then I said, that this is how we think we sorry, sorry, I just. So we're not going to change because we react the same way. So the condition, so this person said to me, how am I going to stop? When is it going to get out of it? Because it's this condition, it's go round and round, and we keep feeding it, we keep reinforcing it. So of course we get the same results again and again. And I told him, you can't. And he was like, then how am I going? If I continue because of the condition, I said, you can't until you see it, until you develop enough clarity. You'll be able to see that sometimes you are feeding your defilements, you're reacting. But before that, I said, you will keep doing that because you can't see yourself feeding it. You can't see yourself, reinforce your condition again and again, because you reinforce the energy that again and again. So until you develop that clarity, you'll be able to see, yes, I'm doing, says, I've been doing this, I'm reinforced my defilements. So you will know, that's why you have to develop clarity. And that's why one of the verses from the Dhammapada I really like most, that is the Buddha said, a fool know his own foolishness, he's still wise to the extent. If a fool think himself wise, indeed a fool. So whenever they say something, I say, no problem, having defilements is not a problem. So I said, but at least I said, you can see that this is causing you this defilements causing you suffering, and you not to react. So how not to react? You have to develop stillness. Your mind have to be stable enough, still enough not to react. Because normally, a lot of people, they don't deal with fear or some defilements skillfully, and they tend to suppress. So the more you suppress, actually you reinforce that tendency. It become greater and greater, more and more intense. Because when you reinforce, when you suppress, actually you give more energy, and you build up. And to the point that you can't hold anymore, you explode. So that's to look at it skillfully, but you need to have the purity, the stability of the mind. If your mind is not peaceful enough, it's very difficult to look at it. So that's why sometimes we have some skillful means, Of course, the best way to deal with fear is to stay with the fear, not to run away, not to suppress. But of course, it's very difficult because it's unpleasant. So we normally run away from unpleasant feelings because it's unpleasant, we don't like it. So we try to push it away. Doesn't mean that we push it away, it will disappear by itself. Actually, it's still there. And it's been unskillful if we just suppress it and we push it away or run it away, that pretend that it's not there. And actually we reinforce that tendency, it becomes more and more intense. But to be able to look at it, first of all, you have to develop the stability of your mind. Your mind has to become peaceful and calm enough to be able to stay with that fear. It's very difficult to stay with the fear. So normally I give some advice to people that if you can't really stay with the fear, you can do some other skill. You have some other skillful mean. I remember there was a question someone asked me. She said that because I said that the best way is to stay with the fear. Of course, if your mind is not strong enough, stable enough to stay with the fear, so you have to have other skillful means. For example, sometimes when fear comes out, you can do the breathing exercise. Breathing in fear, breathing out peace. So you make peace with that fear. Allow the fear, letting the fear be. It's okay. It's okay that because it's unpleasant, we don't like this unpleasantness. So we make peace. We embrace. We allow the fear. It's okay to have a fear. So we just, and then another skillful means you can use, you bring your awareness to your body. Whenever we have fear or anxieties, if you pay attention to your body, you can feel that it's a tightness, tension, because whenever we have fear, we have the kind of like look out for danger. So our body tense up. So actually you bring your awareness to your body, because awareness, feeling, sensation is a causal object. So you focus on the causal object, focus on your sensation, your feelings, and try to relax your body. So when you bring your attention towards your body, you relax your body, then actually you stop your mind from into the thinking, because when fear followed by thinking, and then this is how we project in the future, or then we have more, the fear become more and more intense because of the fear of what's going to happen, and become fear of the fear, and it's happened again. What am I going to do with it? And then become so fearful. I said, stay with that is the best one. But if you can't stay with that, you can do the breathing exercise, and you can do body awareness. Bring your body to stay with that sensation and feelings. If you feel tightness, you just watch, your awareness. You're aware that your body is tight, and try to relax your body. Try to, as much as you could, you relax your body. And sometimes people have the fear because of come from childhood, a lot of abuses, and because of that, they still haven't been able to come out. Sometimes that you be able to invite, we invite the little child in us, that because inside that they refuse to come out, even those, because we rather to stay with the suffering, the pain, that with the known, than rather to facing the unknown, something that is not known, that is future, the unknown, that is, we have that fear. Even some people, when they have deep meditation, when they don't feel their body, they're so sad, oh, I'm losing my body. They're so scared because they're so used to with the body. And that's like when facing fear, that's been threatened, the self-interest been threatened, been challenged. The sense of self being challenged. So they say that they rather suffer, holding on what they're familiar with, and rather to face something that they don't know. And there's a fear. And they said to be able to stay with that, with the fear, you need, first of all, you need to develop stillness. Your mind have to be stable enough. There's like everyday life, practice present moment awareness. And present moment awareness develops your mindfulness, establish your mindfulness, and help you with the stillness. So when your mind becomes still and stable, peaceful, you can easily you can easily just stay with that fear. I remember the first time. I remember I told Bhante Sujata as well, that first time I stayed in the cave, and I was so terrified. And I was lying down because the cave, I was facing the wall of the cave, and then there's like a platform, so I was sleeping on top of the on top of the platform. Then I'm facing on the wall, and I hear like someone walking towards me. I was really terrified. Then I use a blanket and cover my face, and then I was thinking, I was really terrified. Then I was thinking, what am I going to do? And then actually that moment, I remember one of the teaching the Buddha gives. They said that, when you have fear, when fear arises, if you are walking, you keep walking. If you are sitting, you continue sitting. You just remain the same posture. So I was holding the blanket this way. So I just hold. I didn't move. I just hold. I experienced the fear until the max. When the fear hit the max, and it subsides. I don't know how long. I just stay there with the fear, and it's up to the max. And the moment the fear hit the max, actually, it's a subside. Actually, the moments the fear subside, actually, I was really so peaceful and really calm. And I was so happy at this time because of letting go, because I just stay with the fear. And then I realized, then I started to listen. What is that? Actually, it's not someone walking towards me. Because when you fear, you because we think that we're in danger, and then we will stand. This is how we become being paranoid, is thinking that someone walking. Actually, it's just a leaf, and the winds blow. It's just rustler, the leaf, that sound. But you will interpret like someone walking, but actually it's not. Because of you think that there's someone walking towards you, you will interpret that way. You interpret that it's a footstep, but actually it's not a footstep. Then after that, because after the experience, then actually I deal with fear much skillfully, much better, because I start to develop the confidence. I know that it's not going to stay. It comes and go. And this is you can do. And also like reflecting on your own goodness, on your virtue, your sila, actually it also helps. I remember once I was in Thailand, and the area that I stay, the women area, that actually is an old cemetery, and I was the only person staying, and the kuti is very small, and the kutis that have no windows, so there's a wall, you have to open up the wall. So the two walls open up, and we're very small. Even I'm not such a big person, and actually when I sleep there, sometimes when heavy rain, I can feel like shower, my leg, and sometimes if people stand, they can pull your leg, and at day, sometimes that fear just comes, just pops up, and then I have fear. Then sometimes I said, oh, I have fear. So then I ask myself, why I have fear? Then because sometimes I have these eerie feelings, like, because especially by yourself, and sometimes I have actually completely dark, no electricity. Even the toilets have no electricity. I remember at night raining heavily and thunderstorm. It's quite scary, and then by myself in the kuti. Then I have to walk at night, midnight I have to walk to it's a distance from here, somewhere there. I have to walk to the toilet. And of course, when I open the door, and the mirror just right in front of me, and it's really scared me, because I see someone in front of me. Then I look, oh, actually it's myself, because of the mirror reflection. It's quite scary. Sometimes I do from time to time. Then I start to reflect. I say, I've been keeping precepts. I've been living a good life. I'm not harming. So I have no intention to harm anyone at all. Why do other beings would like to that they're going to harm me? So actually, the moment when I reflect on that, so actually, the fear just subsides. Because I said, why do I want to? I have no intention to harm anyone. So, who going to harm me? So this, and immediately it subsides. I remember that that when I remember once there was they have doing renovation the Kutis renovation, so I have to move to the female dormitory. So the female dormitory, they have the kind of a dormitory, then the floor is a wooden floor. So actually, if people walking, you can feel the vibration. I remember one afternoon I was meditation in the room, and then I feel people walking, just outside. We have a little shrine, because I feel the vibrations, people walking. So I said, who is that? Because the other lady with me went out. Then I didn't hear anyone open the door coming in. So I went out, I have a look, see no one. So I go back again, I sit, then I feel that they're still walking. Then after that, because that time I was really peaceful. Actually, I really fearless. I don't really click my mind that, I don't even have that fear. I just, okay, what is that, Okay, no one, go back. I said, and then it's still, then I said, okay, forget about it. You continue to do your walking meditation, I continue to do my sitting meditation. And then I remember when the lady comes back, when the lady, from Singapore, and I told her that, I just now I heard someone, I said, never mind, I just let that being, I do my sitting meditation and let them do the walking meditation. And then she said, what? In the afternoon still have ghosts? And she said, if I were you, I will run away. You still go back and sit. Actually, surprisingly, I just don't, because I was meditating, and because my mind was so peaceful. When you're peaceful, you don't have that fear. It's just like, don't really think, I don't think of anything. And this is how slowly, and sometimes after that, I hardly have that kind of very intense type of fear. Sometimes a little bit. The moment it comes out, actually I catch it very quick. The moment I catch it, actually it subsides very fast. So that's why if your mindfulness is strong enough, you'll be able to catch it. Actually, it just subsides very. When your mindfulness is strong, it's just like a very sharp knife. You just cut it off very quick, very easily. And this is also some of the skillful means you can use it to reflect on your own virtue, and you can do the breathing exercise, you can do body awareness, and also you can do reflection. I think this is from the Anguttara Nikaya. Yes, the Buddhas mentioned about there are 5 reflections that we all should do, whether you are lay people or whether you are monastic. It's that, the first one, he said that we always reflect, that we remember we are subject to death. We are not beyond that. So sometimes we think that we can live forever, isn't it? And that actually will help you to bring your awareness that, when you're aware that, I might die anytime. So a lot of things that doesn't bother you anymore, isn't it? You don't really bother, this person said that person that said that. So you just let go very quickly, and you become more appreciative. Like when I was in Thailand, I was so blessed that, I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, and really appreciate that even every single breath. Actually, it's really helped me in my meditation, because when I sit down, I really appreciate the breath, that is the fact that I'm still breathing, and becomes like each breath becomes so precious. Like, I still have in breath. It becomes more when you becomes content and become more appreciative. So they said, when we reflect on that, we might die any time. And actually it's helped you become more appreciative. And it's actually sometimes people think that, you reflect on death, actually it's being negative or being pessimistic. Actually it's not. Actually it's a more positive. You become more appreciative that, I might die any time. So why I spend time about this person said that person said this, it doesn't bother you anymore. The moment, you look at it, I might die any time. And that is good, that is help us. And also another thing that he said that, we subject to old age. And people spend so much time, I remember once my sister, she many years ago, about more than 30 odd years ago, because she had an accident that she had to do, because her hand, she had to do the plastic surgery with her hand. because her hand just grow back like that, she had to have the surgery to make it to straighten her thumbs. I saw one lady doing face lifting. She really covered her whole face, wrap up the whole face. I was thinking, even though you look young, but your body is still old, you're still subject to old age, that no matter how hard we try to keep yourself to look, it's just the appearance, So that's why sometimes we spend so much time and so afraid of being old. And rather than we just say that this is part of that, I'm subject to that, I'm subject to that, I'm not beyond. So we remind ourselves, that, and then we are subject to illness, we get sick all the time, So we are not beyond. So we get sick, yes, we get sick, we see doctor, but sometimes I like to say, I like to call those people that are really very conscious about their health. They call them a health freak. They're really a freak. There's really, I remember there was a lady used to come to a monastery. She do all the right thing. She have all the health food. She meditate, she makes sure that she sleep, have enough sleeps, and then when she was diagnosed with cancer, she couldn't believe. She said, how come I have cancer? How could that happen? That I'm so healthy. Actually, sometimes people, when you're so conscious about your worry about your health, actually your mind, that the worrying itself is a negative emotion. You worry, actually that's actually your body become more toxic, because they release the fear. Actually they have the fear, the worry about the health, and then normally I can tell you those people that call it, everything, that you have to eat healthy food, but it doesn't mean that you have to eat I don't want to say McDonald's. I'm not advertising like all the junk food all the time. It doesn't mean that you eat junk food all the time, but actually it doesn't kill you if once in a while you have it, But sometimes because of it becomes so stressful. You're so worried about what to eat. Sometimes people are so stressful about what they eat. And then they're concerned so much about what's going into their mouth, and they're never concerned about what comes out from their mouth. And they say something that is really harm others people, isn't it? And so hurtful, and that they're not right speech, and say something nasty to others. And they're so concerned about what go in, but they never they will not consider what comes out is important. So the words that you speak, whether it's a kind words, whether it's really pleasing to the ears, whether it's true, that's much more important what comes out, isn't it? But people most concerned with what go in. And she said, how could that happen? I'm so healthy, I live a healthy life, but sometimes people don't see that actually it's quite stressful when you're worrying about your health. And most people, their healthy is not enough. They want healthier. So they want healthier. They said they stuck themselves with all these tablets, with all these supplements, and actually make the body even worse. And then the worry itself, and it's quite stressful about the health. I mean, yes, middle way. But sometimes we have people swing from one end to another, and then I let go, and then they let go, they go the other side, couldn't care less, so I guess to stuff themselves with all the junk food, Actually, it's middle way. I remember there was a lady said to me that, I'm letting go. So that's why I asked my son to move out. So I don't want to attach to my son. People don't get it. It's not about physical attachment, and she said I asked him to move out so that I don't attach to him. Some people swing from one end to another and couldn't care less. Middle way. They say to be able to walk middle way, you need to have wisdom. Where is the wisdom come from? Come from the clarity, come from the stillness. When your mind becomes still, you have more clarity. That's where the wisdom born of stillness. And the energy also come from stillness. It's not the energy come from doing. So lots of people think that doing nothing means physically doing nothing. You can sit there whole day doing nothing, but your mind is gone to Siberia without knowing how you get there. A lot of people think that the physical not doing, but actually the mentally not doing is the most difficult thing. There's sometimes that you practice present moment awareness. This is how you reflect on that. That's a subject to illness. Yes, it doesn't mean that you get sick, you don't see doctor. So we see doctor. If the doctor said no, I can't do anything, you're going to die. Okay, we just have to accept that, isn't it? So make peace with that. So we're going to die anyway. So sometimes when people having cancer, terminal illness, I said, why don't you look at it that way? At least you have a bit of time to rehearse, do some rehearsal and look into your fear, rather than sudden death, isn't it? Sudden death that you do not expect that, isn't it? So you look at it, at least it's still better. You still have a bit of time to prepare for your death. Actually, this is important to develop the attitude to look at the bright side, the positive. This is always two ways of looking at things. Depends on how you want to look at it. And rather than be sucked into the negativities, and that kind of negative emotion will really create more and more suffering, and we reinforce that. So we reflect on that our loved one, we're going to leave me, we're going to separate. No matter how loving couples we are, that's like even our children, they can only send to our graveyard. Okay, they can't go with us, isn't it? So that's why we learn to let go, that little by little. Letting go will not happen overnight, but it will happen. Buddha said it's a gradual training, little by little. So that's why sometimes the whole path of practice, we are preparing for the moment to come. I remember one of the lady asked me, so how to deal with what kind of meditation that should I do? To advise someone, what kind of meditation, should I advise people to do? Like when they're facing death, when they're going to die, when they're dying. So I said, no such thing, no such meditation. I said, it's truly isn't. I said, no such meditation. So I told this person, I said, if you be able to live, you be able to keep bringing your mind back to present moment awareness, you make peace with this moment, you can die anytime. So because you can die any moment, but if you practice, you develop, you train your mind that be able to really make peace with every single moment, then whenever your mind wander off, you keep bringing it back. It's okay. Even your mind wander off 1,000 times, you keep bringing it back. This is how you train your mind. Eventually, your mind won't wander off. This is how. It's no shortcut, But sometimes people like to ask me think that I have some secret recipe. There's no secret recipe, there's no shortcut. So I told that person, I said, if I have secret recipe, I would have used it myself, and I got enlightened long ago. So I said, no such thing, you just have to do the practice. But most people don't want to do the practice. I think that, I said, you can't. I said, you just have to keep practicing. If you be able to stay present, you are ready anytime you can go. We can die anytime. And then the last one, the fifth one, that you reflect on, we are the owner of our own karma, we're responsible for our own action. And we reflect on that. This really helps us, that sometimes it doesn't matter what other people do. I remember there was a lady, she said to me, she said that I would like to talk to you. It's something that really bothered me so much. I can't sleep. Yesterday whole night I can't sleep because she had said something to her. She gone to the dancing class, and then she got up her dancing her partner, and she said something that upset her friend, dancing partner, and he was really upset with her. And actually she did not do it intentionally. It's just that she didn't understand the words means. She used the words that being a bit not very nice, and then but she didn't do it intentionally. But she went to apologize, go up to him, say sorry that she apologized and said sorry to the person. The person still get upset with her. The person could not forgive her, and she told me, I already apologized. I already said sorry. Why can't he forgive me? Then I look at her. Why you think that he should forgive you? I said, you do your part. You ask for forgiveness. You do your part, and then whether he forgive you is his business, not your business. I said, you do your part, and if he decide to not he didn't want to forgive you, he cannot forgive you, it's his business. I said, why don't you forgive him for not being able to forgive you? That's why I said, it's okay, whatever people can do, whatever to us. But the Buddha said, make sure we don't do it to others. It's okay, people can be nasty to us. And sometimes how we tend to justify. When someone said nasty thing to us, we think that, it's okay. We tend to justify. It's okay to retaliate, We think that it's okay because of you being nasty. So I get back to you. I remember there was a guy told us that he was so upset with a lady that is not really a friend. And he was go on and on thinking that, how am I going to get back to her? And then eventually he was struggling. Eventually he decided not, and somehow he didn't know why he got a bunch of flowers and give it to the lady. And she said, "Is this amazing?" He said that the moment he gave the flowers to the lady, he said, "I don't know why I'm doing it. I just give the flower to you." But he said that he was so much joy because of letting go, because he couldn't let go, that what this lady have done, go on and on. And then he said that he just believed in the karma. He said when he go back to his car, and he bought the flower for $40, and then he get back to his car, he saw there's a $50 note in front of him. In front of him. And sometimes we think that this is okay. The Buddha said whatever other people even be nasty to us, it's their problem, it's their business, it's not our business. So we look after our own karma. We are the owner of we're responsible for our own action. So people tend to justify. You cannot justify if we act out of anger. We retaliate is not, we cannot justify. I remember there was a joke. There was a lady, she's a photographer. She was invited by a friend for a dinner, and she went for the dinner. And before they start the dinner, she was so proud because she's a photographer. She's so proud of her work. She showed the photos to her friend. The friend looked at the photo. Oh yes, very good. Oh, you must have very good camera. And she was really fuming. She was thinking, what? It's not my skill. It's because I have a good camera. And she couldn't get over that. And then dinner, when she's still eating, her mind still go on and on and on, and thinking of how she's going to get back to her. She think. And then after they finished the dinner, and then then she wanted to leave. She thinking, she's. Before she left, and she said, "Oh, thank you so much, inviting me for dinner," and things like that. Then after that, she said, "All the food is so delicious. You must have very good pot." This is how she couldn't get over. She think that I have to find something. I have to get back to her because he said I have a good camera. So it's like, "Oh, you must have a good pot." And actually, we cannot justify when we act out of anger. Ultimately, we are the one responsible for our own action, isn't it? That's why sometimes the Buddha says it's important. We have to remind ourselves, that. And when we do this reflection, it really helps us to become more peaceful and calm. When you're peaceful and calm, you become fearless. You have less fear. The fear actually is come from worrying about not knowing what's going to happen. So that's why sometimes we think that we're under control, especially things don't go our way. We think that it's everything under control. Things have to go according to our plan. Things don't go according to our plans. We think that it's wrong. Actually, it's not wrong, isn't it? The things that we plan is things that we know, isn't it? we have experienced before the things that we know. That's what we plan. But things that we don't know, it's happened. Actually, you learn more. So that's why I say it's not what happened to us really matter. It's just your attitude, to develop the attitude, how we look at things, how we relate to the situation, how we relate to what's happening in this moment. It's important. Basically, we cannot control what's going to happen. Whoever think that this COVID will happen, whoever think that, I have to cancel all my trip, I'm supposed to travel and I have to cancel all the trip, But I'm okay. I'm quite happy not going, I'm okay if I need to go. I'm happy to go. I don't have to go. It's fine too. I'm not disappointed that I can't go. So they say it's important to develop the attitude, how we look at things. And life, it's this time COVID, and then when it stopped for a while, and then next time we don't know what comes out, isn't it? So they say it's important to develop your attitude. And actually, I learned a lot when I built the monastery. We built a monastery. We built a sala hall. We built a office and amenities and dining kitchen. It's quite a big. It's a multi-millions project. It's quite a big project. I was so busy, and always something come out, and I've always put in the position that I have to make decision. I'm not that they don't give me any time to think, because of all the traders line up. So when they hit any problems, so I have to resolve, right now. Because if I don't resolve, all those line up, they can't do their work. So then I have to consult the engineer, consult the architects, and so they give me all the options. Okay, you can option 1, 2, 3, and this is more economical. Then I have to just to be pretty okay, if I make the wrong decision, that's it. This I can only do what I know, and I'm doing my best. That's why I used to tell my nuns. I said, I'm doing my best. I cannot do better than best. So if you are not happy, sorry, this is what you get. Even the same day, I said, I give a talk. I don't care whether you like it or not. This is what you get. I'm doing my best, This is sometimes it's important. You always go back to yourself. Ask yourself, am I doing my best? Whatever we do it with wholeheartedly. Give it all we got. So we just leave the results alone. Whatever people can do criticize us, whether people like it or not, that's not my business anymore. I just do my part, then finish. Because sometimes we take things too seriously. Truly, in our life, if we don't take it too seriously, sometimes relax a little bit, don't take it too seriously, then, you make your life easier. Because we take it too seriously. Sometimes even with the nuns, sometimes I joke, like remember last time, they're so busy painting, very busy, because it's very expensive to get a painter. So we paint ourselves. It's much cheaper. We bought the paint and we do it ourselves. And I saw them busy painting. So sometimes I crack jokes, so that they don't feel so tired, So when I saw them painting, so I went there and I cracked jokes. I said, there was a joke. I remember there was a joke. There's a 3 Catholic nuns. So there's a junior nun. So the senior nun said, okay, you paint this room. And make sure that you will not stain your robes. If you stain your robes, you'll be punished. So they said, how to paint without staining my robes? Then one nuns come up with the ideas. They said, we lock the door, we close the door, we take out our robes, and then we do painting. So they take off their robes and they do the painting. And then someone knock on the door, knock, and I said, who is that? He said, oh, a blind man. So a blind man. Then the other nun said, oh, a blind man. He can't see us, it's okay. We can open the door from here. So open the door from this way. This guy said, oh, I come to install blind. I come to install blind. a blind man. So they all laugh. But sometimes, like, even we scream, we crack jokes, like, sometimes sometimes we take things personally and take it too seriously. Sometimes we make life, we so hard on ourselves, isn't it? Sometimes make it life easier, sometimes I do tell back jokes sometimes. But they like it, because sometimes monastery life is pretty boring, you do the homestay, you repeat the same thing, and then you do the same thing, and repeat the things, every day. Because of monastic lifestyle, that everything is just all the routine, everything, and you repeat everything the same thing every day, in and out, day in and out, and then you look at the same person and they hardly go out, and you look at the same person also, never mind. If the person always press a button, then it's even worse, Actually, living in a community, actually you develop lots of compassion and kindness. And how, of course, we have rubs, and this is how we grow, we grow together, and then we always, forgive. That's why I remember that, when I look back in my life, then sometimes I grow more being with difficult people. Then sometimes I'm so grateful when I look back that, that they say sometimes if someone really said nasty thing to you, said terrible thing to you, you just talk to yourself, tell yourself that, thank you for giving me the opportunity to practice forgiveness. So each time someone said nasty, I said, okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to practice forgiveness, rather than thinking how terrible this person is. And also, even someone has said nasty thing to you, and you look at it, at least the person is honest to the extent, rather than someone that's so sweetie pie, so nice to you, that stab your back, isn't it? But at least the person said nasty thing to you. So they say, sometimes people complain to me, this person so nasty. I say, it's okay. At least the person honest to the extent. The person, at least, you get what you see. At least, that that this person, at least you know that this person, this being the person. Rather, sometimes people, they're being so pretentious. And they're so nice, they're so sweet, but at the back they're really sad too. So then, as I said, you look at it in a positive way, then you feel much better. And then this is how you make your life much more easier. That sometimes we always give ourselves a hard time, And it's important we look at it, develop the attitude. We cannot control what's happening, life, what's going to happen next. We all don't know. No one knows. We don't know what's going to happen. So if we develop that, we train ourselves that whatever we look at it in a positive way. To develop the attitude is important, how we relate to things. So whatever things happen to us, it doesn't matter. It's how we relate to the situation is really matter. So to develop that, to develop our mind, to train our mind. So training our mental muscles, it takes time. There's no shortcut. And you cannot use willpower. If you cannot use willpower, say, no, this is my goal. Yes, it's good to have goal. You have a goal, but sometimes that that we also have to have a goal, that to have any resolution is good, but something that is doable. It's not something that is, just every single step, a small step each time. Eventually you will reach there. It's just like, you just, even though we can aim, weightlifting, we want to lift 100 kilos, you can aim 100 kilos, but you don't start with 100 kilos, isn't it? You break your back. So you start with 10 kilos. Then after that you add 10 more, then you go to 20. Then you go to 20, then 30, eventually one day you reach hundreds. It's the same thing, like sometimes people said to me, how long should I do walking meditation? Shall I do half an hour? Shall I do 1 hour? So I said you have to train yourself, but because she said, sometimes I walk half an hour. I decide, she determined to walk half an hour, and after 20 minutes, she don't feel like continue with the walking meditation. So I said, when the time that you feel like you want to continue with the walking meditation, don't stop immediately. Okay, I do another 5 minutes. So at least you have 25 minutes. So pushing too much is also no good, too much willpower, but you push a little bit. So you push 5 minutes, so you do 25. So after 25, okay, it's because you add 5 minutes, 5 minutes is doable, isn't it? So another 20-30 minutes is a lot, but 5 minutes is doable. So you add 5 minutes. So next time you'll be able to walk 25 minutes, and then next time you want to start at 25, you give yourself another 5 minutes. Then gradually. But there's like middle way. Sometimes people swing from one end to another. Sometimes they try to use willpower. It's good to have. That's like it comes from wisdom power. It's not willpower. They have the bit of wisdom. How to reach your goal, how to achieve your goal. It's not by just one thing. Yes, you can have this wishful thinking. I want this, I want that, but it's not going to happen. So look at the causes that you have put in the causes, not to repeat the same thing. So if we repeat the same thing, we expect to have a different results. So it's not going to happen. So it's just a Buddha said we are the owner of our own karma. So they say it's important that we reflect this, every day. We remind ourselves. Part of the mindfulness also, we remind ourselves that we subject to death, we subject to illness, we subject to old age. So we subject to separate from our loved one. We are not beyond that. We are the owner of our own karma. We are responsible. It's easy to blame others for our mistakes. It's nothing to do with me. I remember there was a social worker, and she used to come to our monastery, and she told me that she's really stressed because of the people think that she can't solve her problem, then it's her problem because she can't solve that problem. And they don't see that, why they're having all this, how the family crisis, and they don't look at the causes, and they think that because of you are the social worker, you should be able to solve my problem. If you can't solve my problem, it's your fault. And she said, really stressful. So then I told her that, you just, you do your best. I said, but don't ever think that you're going to solve that. Don't try to solve other people's problems. I said, we can't solve other problems. Actually, ultimately have to come from them. They have to have the willingness to do that. So, and we can always care, even though we can't solve the problem, but we can always care. So I offer this for your reflection. May this teaching be of benefit to all of you. So any questions or comments? So happy customer. Okay.
To see if anyone has any questions.
Okay. Ajahn Brahm used to say, if you ask question this life, you'll be intelligent next life.
We have some coming through.
Oh, okay.
So Sue, did you have a question?
No question. I really enjoyed the talk. It's very practical. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's so down to earth. It's good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else online that wants to ask a question or in person? Otherwise, I have a question.
Okay, good.
So you've given, as Sue said, a lot of very practical tips in terms of how to deal with fear and in terms of those in times of defilements. I wonder if you have any tips for dealing with craving and sensual pleasures.
Okay. Craving, sometimes, that's why sometimes that we think that actually getting what we want is not necessary is a good thing. They say sometimes it's good that you practice restraint, but sometimes not to be too hard on yourself, like a middle way. So sometimes it's good that, for example, we determine, like, in a small way that, okay, for example, like I decided, okay, I'm not going to take so much sweet. So you see, I try to restrain myself. So practice restraint. It's important to restrain. That the more you restrain yourself, actually you strengthen your mind. Your mind become your mind become really stronger, and you have more strength to say no to craving. But you have to do it. It's a small step, and not to push yourself too hard. Because a lot of people that sometimes some nuns, they want to do the they become very, they want to do this kind of Tutanga practice, very austere, and actually counterproductive. And they become so unhappy. Sometimes only happy mind can do it. So there's like, especially in the West, even though we are not Westerners, because we are more Westernized, so that's like that. Actually, we discourage people to do all those like Asupa, Tutanga, because that is a metta is good, because it makes you happy. So, when you are content, they say it's important you every day you can do this practice every day in morning when you get up, especially when you have your breakfast. So when you take your breakfast, you reflect on all the other beings that have contributed towards the food, and you develop that gratitude. So, and then you become more content. The craving is come from not being content. So content doesn't mean that. I remember when I first joined Dhammasara, and because we are well supported, and I had that time, being a junior nuns, you have a lot of that kind of I want to practice, I have to be austere, and everything, Then I feel that we shouldn't have honey, because when I was in Thailand, we only have sugar. I remember the Ajahn told me, if you have tea, then you have tea. You have no tea, you don't have tea. You just get whatever you've been offered, you have it, and you cannot ask for honey, you cannot ask for any other thing. Sugar you can ask, salt you can ask, but not honey. But to us, like, honey is something is quite luxurious when I was in Thailand. So then when I was in Dhammasara, then we were so well supported, we're so much, and then I was thinking, and I start to reflect. I said, I've been here so well supported, a nice good tea, and then the food is so good, so nice. Then I started to think that, how can I practice contentment, and then I'll keep thinking that, this is not. Then I started to have doubt, thinking that whether this is the right place for me, because I cannot practice contentment because of I have so much well supported abundance. That actually, then that time we were given an assignment to look at each qualities, to reflect, Then that what I was given, that is the contentment. So then I read this the suttas, I think from Kassapa. So he's the one upmost in someone is a very austere practice. So then he talked about contentment. So he content with luxurious thing, and also things that is inferior or superior. Then that moment that insight arises, that moment, then I realized that I've been discontent having good things. Actually we don't see that, isn't it? We think that we have to have horrible things. No, it's not that I'm asking for it, but we just accept whatever being offered. If something nice thing, we're happy. If inferior is fine, superior is fine. So then I noticed that I've been discontent with good thing. So actually we content with whatever. But even you said that we shouldn't have this luxurious things, but of course we try to live simply. But if someone offered to us, we use it without, like one of the reflection that we do, like when we have a meal. So we said we will allay hunger without overeating, so that so that we don't create a new feelings, that it become greedy. Yeah, we have nice food, we enjoyed it in this moment, just happy, enjoy in this moment, but not thinking that, oh, how am I going to get this food? Oh, this who offered this? And then we will look out for that person, this person coming. And that is not, actually people don't see that. It's not that what we experiencing is a problem. It's that we create that craving, looking out and try that the craving come from we try to look for it, but if it is okay, this is what we got, and happily if I got, like sometimes people knows Ajahn Brahm like fish and chips and offer him fish and chips, but he's okay, fish and chips, he's happy, enjoy the fish and chips. If no fish and chips, it's okay too. Actually contentment is not that you have to have inferior things. So then I noticed, I realized that, oh, actually I've been discontent with good thing. So that's actually, and then you start with few wishes, like you just sometimes that you whatever that you want to buy, sometimes you just stop and think that maybe should I really need it? Do I have to have it? Whether it's necessary? Then this is actually really help you if you always think, stop and think and ask yourself whether do you really need it. Then slowly you will help you, but you cannot force yourself that I'm going to force myself using willpower. I like for example, if you used to get those things, maybe like I know someone that when she's not happy, she like to go to shopping, and she like to just buy clothes, but she never wore. She's all the price tag is still there. She just have that, because of that help her, that because of she just want to distract herself, like run away from the unpleasant feelings when she's not happy. She just use shopping as a way to distract herself, like not to look at it, not to face it. That's why sometimes you just reflect and ask yourself, do I really need it?
It's actually a really freeing process and feeling to go through the shopping centre and have nothing that I want to buy. Yeah. We have someone that that she's really she just because of that's help her to distract herself, not to look into herself, and just distract herself, because it's very easily pick up the phone, go shopping. Sometimes we don't really need it, isn't it? Some of the things, and just because of a special offer, we think that we have to have it, or we think that in case we need it. This in case thing, we need it in the future. So sometimes it's, you learn little by little. Sometimes we stop. So don't follow your instinct or whatever comes out. You just stop and reflect and think. And it's also helped you to just react impulsively what comes out. So it's important that you do reflection in the morning, just to develop that contentment, that thinking of what you can, because giving itself is counteract craving. So first thing in the morning you ask yourself, what can I give today? What can I be of service? Thinking of what can I get. So actually, it's really help. I remember because every day you just like brainwash yourself. You do it every day. You keep reminding yourself. Actually, it's really help. I remember at some stage that I lack of that kind of that kind of really not really gratitude, but I feel like lack of the kind of like there's so much respect, like connection towards like last time my teacher. When I know this is something I need to develop, I do it every morning. I reflect.
of the person, the good qualities, and I've been appreciate of that person, and it's really helped me to build up that. Because this really, we have to recondition ourselves, like brainwash ourselves, but in a good way, You brainwash yourself. We have to. It's just like you have to dig a new channel. So that's why people say, oh, why sometimes I still go back, the whole old habit. I said, of course you go back to the whole habit. I said, because it's just like you develop a new habit. It's just like you dig a new channel. Before your new channel is deep enough, the water will tend to flow back. So yes, that's why it's important, like especially in the morning every day, try to slow down your pace. And I remember like when I first come to monastic life, and outside there everything you have to rush, you have time frame, you have to finish a certain job. Then I always like, even in the monastery, actually we have nowhere to go. Actually it's just, but you have the habit, you want to rush off, you want to finish off things. Actually the moment I catch myself like I want to rush, I stop. So whenever you catch yourself, you stop. Even you can stop for one moment, it's good. You train yourself to be able to stop. Because it's really too fast, we really react very fast and very impulsively, that reaction. That's why we need to stop that. And that's why you have to do every day, every day. And whenever, even when you're working, you notice yourself at the kind of like, try to push, you just stop. Actually, it will not affect your work. Imagine you just stop for one moment. Stop. I normally just stop, okay, not doing anything for 1 second. Then I continue. Actually, it's helped you to stop. If not, you keep reinforcing. And then you never know how to stop. And that is it's quite practical, you can apply. There's lots of people think the practice is throughout the whole day. Whatever you do, whether you are present, whether truly, present while you're doing whatever you're doing here, whether your mind is, sometimes you can doing this, but your mind is gone to Siberia, you're not here. And sometimes even worse that you don't even know how you get there. You know how one little thought comes out, you little another one, and then sometimes where's the thoughts end? Nothing related to the one that comes up, isn't it? Nothing related. Then you say, oh, how come I get there? You don't even know how you get there. And this is becomes more aware, and you can a little practice, like you slow down. And then whenever you find yourself try to rush, and then you just stop, slowly open, even you get out, you open your door, you just stop. And last time we have practice when I just first ordained as just junior nun. So a teacher wants us to really, whenever we enter a door, we have to stop. Then slowly we have to open. And we be told off if we have to go into the shrine with cannot make any sounds, really be quiet. But sometimes we have to be very slow. And actually it's helped that you become more aware. And then this is how you develop your awareness and mindfulness throughout. And slow down. So like for example, whenever you want to enter a room, you make a point that you stop, don't just rush in. Actually it's helped you. And this is how you slow down. Then slowly we slow down. And it seems like something small, but it's just like the Buddha said, each drops, of the water drip, drip, drip. At the end of the day, the whole bucket full. And not to underestimate all those small things. And sometimes, like for example, like our anagarikas, we said that whatever the things that the food, that any staple food that people offer, so you make sure you check, you sort out, we respect, the offerings that we receive. And actually while you're doing it, you develop the qualities. You develop the qualities of being grateful, have the gratitude, we really respect that. Actually sometimes the act that we are doing actually itself, we develop that qualities. So that's why it's important, that act. And I used to do that last morning. Even now I do it. Even breakfast, I really every morning breakfast I reflect that all the food that I'm eating now is come from all other beings, the donors, the beings contributing this food, and we really being so grateful, because when you're grateful, you become more appreciative and your mind becomes content. When your mind content, you don't crave. So does that answer your questions? Make sense to you?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Okay, comments?
There's Anne who has a comment, which is, thanks Ayya Hasappana, I really enjoyed the session and have gained a lot of tips today.
Oh, okay, thank you. So whether you enjoyed it or not, this is what you get.